Failure isn't usually rebellion, it's divided loyalty. You want growth, but you also want comfort. Unfortunately, one cannot serve two masters, and God is very, very clear about that in the scriptures. Because comfort quietly wins most days, and unfortunately, that's the hard truth. You want a good life, but you would rather sit in bed or on your couch scrolling or playing video games. And I'm definitely not saying those things are bad. I definitely indulge in a little bit of scrolling. I love a good reel here and there. I'm not gonna lie, got to get my hit right. Not that I love it totally, but I will say I don't do any of that unless I have accomplished my main goals, which is filming my videos, editing, and teaching art. That's what I do. And then if I can accomplish that, then of course I might indulge for a little bit. Why not? I'm a little tired. Why not? Right? There's nothing wrong with it, okay? But what is wrong is that most people forfeit their dreams. They forfeit the small necessary tasks that only take 2 to 3 hours at most a day, maybe even less, depending on what it is, for comfort. And I just want to say that that alone is godless. It is one of the most anti-God things. It is one of the biggest spits in the face to your Father in heaven you will ever spit. Squandering the potential He's given you, squandering your potential within this body, with your special gifts and talents that He's placed you on this earth with, and you are doing nothing. You are doing nothing. Granted, I could do more. Okay, I'm not totally opposed to quitting all social media and cutting all that out. And if you can do it, you are a better man than me. I'm not opposed to it. We can all be doing more. But it's important to recognize that because oftentimes there's a lot of self-deception. All right, I'm not going to lie. We have been deceived over and over and over again. I'm not even going to just call it self-deception. It's like self in collaboration with Satan, all to deceive yourself and your potential. And I just want to say that self-deception sounds like wisdom. It usually sounds like wisdom. Like, for example, now isn't the season. Now isn't the time of my life. I'll do it in the summer, right? The winter, it's a little too cold to work out. Oh, it's a little too cold to go for a run, all right? But although I do want a pretty nice looking, I want to participate in that marathon. I'm not going to lie, but I can start in the summer, right? It's these kind of things, right? That's the self-deception I'm talking about. And then, of course, emotional reasoning delays obedience, right? So you can't be obedient if you're always trying to emotionally reason with yourself. You have to cut the emotion out of things and turn things into spirituality. There is a greater calling than just what you feel. I saw a podcast just the other day and the guy was talking about the psychology of goal setting. But it was this idea that we need a higher calling when we set our goals. Our goals cannot just simply be, I'm doing this so I have a better body. It's got to be something more like, I'm doing this so I have more energy for my kids. I'm doing this so I can play with my grandkids when I'm old rather than sit under the umbrella at the beach while they go play in the water and I be an old, lazy old hag, right? Exactly that. You don't want that kind of life. So you set this spiritual goal. I'm doing this to fulfill my calling here on earth as a son or daughter of God. So I can be the best father, mother, grandmother, brother, sister, right? Whatever it has to be, so that I can be the best I can be. And when it becomes a spiritual thing, when God enters into the picture, goals become achievable. They become very achievable. If I was having a kid this year, I would say I have to get this course done. Otherwise, I don't know if I'll be able to financially provide for my future kid, right? That's the biggest thing. And that knowledge alone would escalate things in such a great way. There's no why greater than a why that proceeds or comes from God. I just want to say that God can't multiply what you won't place on the altar, right? What you won't place on the altar, your time, your effort, right? If you can't place those things on the if you can't place those things on the altar, if you can't come to God and say, I want to write a book this year and I want to make money from it. Well, if you don't place the time on the altar, if you don't start writing the book, if you don't start doing things, then that prayer has no power to do anything. What is to be done with that prayer? It becomes a waste. But the second we start putting in the work, the second we place something on the altar, God can then multiply it. And one really great way to do that is by writing. You get into your journal, I promise you, this is like placing something on the altar. Whenever I've written down a goal or a dream or an idea, God has multiplied it. He has made it more. And I can truly say that it is one of the most powerful experiences when you can go into the journal and look back a couple months and see just the kind of things that you wanted at the beginning of the year, and how God transformed those desires into something physical, something tangible. He brought fruit from that tree that you planted. And that feels good. So often we're like, I never see the hand of the Lord in my life. I never see miracles. But maybe it's just that we aren't tracking them. Maybe we aren't writing anything down. Are we even asking? Are we even putting anything on the altar to begin with? And when you're honest about it, when you are honest and you say, God, I can't do this without you, it invites power. And that's the key to success. If you want to succeed, if you want to achieve any goals, if you want to stop failing at your goals, most importantly, you need to start placing things on the altar. Sacrifice some time, sacrifice some effort, sacrifice some energy, because that's what it's going to take for these prayers to be answered. Because God hasn't placed us on this earth to simply spoon feed everything to us. He wants us to pick up the spoon, and then He can guide us to where we can dig, right? To then feed ourselves. And that's the biggest thing. If there's anything I've learned in my life, it's that an act of hope, not really knowing if I can achieve this thing, not really knowing if I'm capable or if I'm ready. If there's anything I've learned from that, is when I do try, God always ensures that I land where I need to be. Anyways, my name is Gabriel Bowman. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm coming out with 3 a week, so don't miss a single one. Now, if you're looking to be better at setting goals, if you're looking to get out of addiction, if you're looking to become more disciplined, go into the playlist section and you will find a plethora of playlists that will fulfill all of your needs. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.